Hi everybody, this is Tom with Culture Chap. So today I want to talk to you about something that may make some of you mad, which is making Taming of the Shrew really comedic. Now, there's a lot of people that will come after me in the comments and say like, "Oh, it's sexist, it's this, it's that." It's your treatment of the play and how you modernize it, how you look at it, whether you're in modern dress or in period clothes. How are you treating this piece? And what does Taming of the Shrew mean to you? Is she the shrew or is he the shrew? Think about that one. Are they both shrews? Is this the way they're observed by society because they're different? What is it? Now, I've said a few times here before that I'm a San Franciscan and I'm a huge fan of the ACT version 1976 done in San Francisco version of Taming of the Shrew, starring Mark Singer, who you may know from different movies. And Harry Hamlin is in it as well, in a small role. It is treated like Italian commedia. So it is treated in this sort of farcical, heightened comedy way. And it's something you should see, and it's on YouTube, and I'll have the link in the description. It's very well done, and I think that we are missing the point of how it could be done and how comedic it is. So let's take our preconceived notions out of it and what the play means to you and how it's making you angry about the treatment of women and so forth. And just let's think about the time that it was written. There are a lot of sexist things happening at the time it was written, but the person who wrote it was clearly giving us plays that were making fun of these traditions, that were trying to turn them on their ear, that were trying to put them under a microscope, saying, really? Really, this is what we think of women? Now, obviously, visually, they had men playing women and vice versa, and there's lots of he's in the pants and she's in the pants, and now he's playing woman, now she's playing a man. There's a lot of that happening. So that is part of it, but how would you do it? So after you view this version of ACT's very hilarious production, it may be too much for you. You may want to not do it that style, but there's so much to learn. So why is Bianca the shrew? Is she, in your mind, are they just trying to torture a woman who won't behave? But what's really happening? We know that her sister is the favorite, the spoiled one. Beef that up. Make her really spoiled. Now, we know that she has some intelligence by the way she handles the men that are wanting to wed her. She's not dumb, but she's taken advantage of the fact that they've lost their mother. You know, there's no mother, probably passed away, and this older sister has taken on all the responsibility, and Bianca has just sort of been the pretty one, the fun one, the one with less responsibility. Why isn't the sister? Yes, Kate and Bianca. Sorry. Why aren't we really leaning into that and seeing what that sister is doing to her and what Kate's responsibilities are? Why aren't we looking at their father and realizing what his responsibilities are or aren't? Is he lazy? Is Kate having to do everything? Is she running the household, running the business, running the servants, running this and running that? And neither of these two family members is helping her. That would make anyone cranky. Is this an older sister, younger sister thing? That's in every family. All right? This doesn't make her the shrew. This makes her maybe misunderstood. Maybe she loses her temper a lot more frequently than we would like. Why does she lose her temper is what we're seeing on the stage. Something you'd lose your temper over. Something that the audience is like, yeah, that would make me mad. Why is everyone piling on her? How is she seen? Maybe our Kate is more of a modern woman than the rest of these people because she has to do all these things. What does that mean for you? What busy work are you giving her to make her this person? And then comes Petruchio. What is he? Is he just a rich boy who's needing more money and that's why he takes on Kate because of the promise of the money? Is he just a roughneck? Is he a ruffian? Is he a jokester? What is he? I think of him as just a similar type to Kate. Two sides of the same coin. Um, I don't think he's terribly responsible. I think he's terribly irresponsible. And he's having a hard time sort of managing his part of life. So we know that when they go back to his place that he has servants. And I've known from other productions that he really loves his servants. I don't see a lot of that in the script itself, but it seems to make itself known because he makes his servants be in cahoots with them. What if the servants were divided? They love their boss, but they also love Kate and see what he's doing to Kate, and they secretly feed her. What would that be like? Maybe not big things. She's still hungry, we know that. But they're giving her water, they're giving her a thing. Maybe he comes in, he pretends that he's going to strike them or something. I can't see him actually doing that. And Kate defends them. What if she defends other people? What if she sees things in a different way than the rest of us do? What if he sees things in a different way than the rest of us do? What if more of this back and forth taming of the shrew is them taming each other and you make it comedic? Really, really comedic. What if you give asides to the audience? We know that Kate is being sarcastic when she's like, yes, it is the moon if you say so. Clearly it is the sun, but if you call it the moon, I shall call it the moon. This old man, yes, he is a sapling of a young woman, if you say so. I will do what you say, just give me the food, give me the dress. We see that she treats the person who makes the dress for her. We see that she compliments them. She recognizes finery. That person is in the scene with them. They have no lines, or very few lines, once they start arguing about it. And Petruchio is trying to bait her. And she takes the time out to say, this is a very fine garment. I like the color. I like the fashion. It is in fashion. I think it's amazing. And she defends the person. There's often, I'm slashing the garment in front of the tailor. That's awful. And sometimes the way some companies do it is a bit dangerous. What if that slashing never happens and somehow the garment gets ruined? I don't know how. Make that comedic. But Kate is defending the tailor and calming the tailor down, or the seamstress, whoever you choose. I think older seamstress is the way to go because there are not very many parts for older women in Shakespeare. Give your people something to do. Also in the servants, older women, give them things to do. Really? Wouldn't Kate treat older women well because she misses her own mother? We don't think about these things. But maybe she has respect for other women, especially ones who gain little respect because of their industry, their being a servant, anything like that, or being a shop proprietor. Maybe she has deep respect for them, and she would protect them from Petruchio, who will never actually get to torture them or whatever he's just threatening. What if she gives as good as she gets? What if she wallops him? And what if he tries to wallop her and she's like, no, that's not you? What if we look at it from a modern lens and think, what is happening here? And what if you put it in period dress? You don't have to spend a lot of money. It doesn't need that many outfits. And a lot of things, depending on your theater and whether you're a community theater or an equity theater, whatever, there are different levels of places all around the world that because of what type of theater you are, there's a sliding scale as far as renting costumes. One costume per show. Maybe when they get married, it's just putting things on the original costume, okay? Because it's a rushed marriage. Petruchio dresses obnoxiously. Maybe it's just a cloak and a funny hat. That's not too expensive. So it may not be as expensive as you think to do it in period dress, which really nails down the idea of why women are getting treated this way. And maybe Kate is our heroine. Neither character is perfect, but we need to love them somehow. We need to root for the anti-hero. And there's a lot of anti-heroes out there, especially women, Thank God, we're getting more flexibility in our stories. And they're not haha laughing with each other. They have to get to that point, and they finally start to realize that they are kind of the same person. You know, they're both a little too much, and we like that about them. And how they react to other people is important. Okay, and you can make that more and more comedic. The reactions, they're being a hero for the other person, the servants, the assistant, the help, whatever you think. And then we really examine the rest of these people in the show and realize they are narrow minded. The dad is narrow minded. The sister is spoiled. The suitors for the sister are sneaky or jerks or Lotharios or whatever you want to do. And the sister who's been playing dumb or whatever is like, I see what you're doing. It's not going to work. I'm still vapid, but I'm not as stupid as you think. This would be another good character depth for these people. Maybe when Petruchio and Kate return and everyone's married and so forth, and the stunts start happening with the men testing their women and Kate not falling for it and the other women not falling for it, that can be deeper and more political, more examining sexism in a comedic way, with really examining it, but doing it comedically. Like, we're shining a light, but we're doing it in a funny way. Like, what do you think you're doing? Testing your wives. Really? And then that speech at the end, when Kate sort of says, let your man step on your hand, be submissive, be this. It's irritating. It's of its time, but it depends on how you handle it. What if you make it comedic? She's doing direct address to the audience. She's standing in front of everybody else. Are they paying attention? We usually have them all paying attention. Do they have to be paying attention? It's at a banquet. It's at a feast. It may be better done just between her and the audience, with Petruchio listening. Maybe he's there with her. And every time she makes one of these statements, it's said as an aside, like, I am submissive to my male husband. And they're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. The jerks in the back are like, oh, of course she said that. And then she looks at him and he's like, no. And she's like, no. And the audience, she's like, no. Those little, like, asides to the audience, we still have the audience's attention. And the way this speech, this monologue is treated makes it funnier. And in period dress, yes, I am playing along, so they'll leave me alone. We understand each other. We are together. And this would not happen in our relationship. But we're just saying these things, which you find obnoxious, audience, just to get them to leave us alone. And what would that be like? So if you watch Eddie Susie Izzard, and some of the earlier shows, which there's a lot of like, I was doing it like this. No, I wasn't. Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Yes, I was. And it goes on really long. Like, is he been doing this for 5 full minutes? Wow. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. It really works. I'm not saying steal from Eddie Izzard, but watch it and go, oh, this is a really ancient thing, while talking to the audience in direct address, to be like, yes, no, yes, no. And it just works incredibly well. And you can do that for that last speech that's so irritating to anyone in modern day about how women should be viewed and treated. It just makes sense in period dress and to play along, and they're deeply in love. Remember that the first minute they see each other, there's something there. You will see this in the ACT 1976 version. Now, it's mostly a pregnant pause. They sort of check each other out. And again, it's Italian commedia, so there's a lot of like, hand motions like this and it's a little up. It's a little more kind of like, kind of acting than you're used to, which is great. But there's things like, she turns and walks behind him and looks at his ass and looks at the audience like, no, that's fun. And then as they get to know each other, it's like, you can volley. You can volley these jokes back and forth and these witticisms and these obnoxious comments. You're smart. I'm smart. How are we going to play this? And it's not immediately evident on how they discover themselves and each other, and the way they treat others is deeply important and deeply comedic. We, this couple, are not what you thought. We, this couple, are actually well suited for each other. We, this couple, will not play the games and live the life that the rest of these people in this town, this area, in society want. We have our own minds. You don't need to judge us. So, unfortunately, we need to say stupid things. Not stupid things. We need to say things that we find stupid as the audience, that this society will just be like, oh, they're normal now. No, they're not. They're interesting and fun. So think about it. It can be really comedic. See what you think. Read it again. I suggest reading it once and then reading it again with all your ideas, and write down any idea. Just get them out of your head. She could do this. She could do that. He could do this. He could do that. And think of it as like, we are similar characters. We are well suited for each other. Okay, how am I going to make that? And write down any comedic idea you have. Don't squelch it. As you start to comb through them later on, you'll be like, oh, well, that doesn't track. This one doesn't track to the thing that's happening later in the play. That's okay. Maybe it's meant for another character. Keep these things. You get to better ideas all the time by writing these things down as they come into your head. If they're not wasted. Don't overanalyze yourself as it's coming out of your brain. That's not how comedy works. Not how directing works. It's not how good acting works. There's a lot of things you throw away. But write it down and come back to it later and go, oh, that is a good idea. Not for this character, not for this show. Maybe in this show for another character, that would work. You never know. You never know. All right. Have a look at it. There'll be a link in the description with the play, Shakespeare's play, Taming of the Shrew, Taming of Two Shrews. It could be a good idea. It could work in your area no matter what country you're in. This show sells itself. And if you bill it, if you advertise it on your social media, wherever, as the funniest Taming of the Shrew they've ever seen, that's big. That could get people in seats for your theater, which is what we all need. All right. Please subscribe. I need subscribers. I'm getting a lot of views, which is great. A lot of countries I didn't expect. Argentina, thank you. New Zealand, thank you. And the UK, of course. You're always a big fan of mine. Thank you. But you're not subscribing. I can see. So please subscribe. Thank you for all your views. But please subscribe. I need subscribers to keep going. All right. That's enough for today. We'll talk again. Thanks.